to have Genesis and to have Mercy with me on the show. And tonight we're going to tackle a very interesting topic of discussion, and that is about the most difficult conversations we've had with ourselves. Wali wetuuzizaako wansi ne weegamba gift kakkana. Tewali akulaba kati sookoddemu weetunulemu bulungi weebuulirire. So we want to look at those most difficult, and you felt like you're not ready to even face them by yourself, or else maybe you went ahead and sought for approval from people and you didn't want to sit down and face the reality of now this is you. Yeah, that is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So we are streaming on our different social media platforms, that is Bethany TV, Facebook and YouTube. Make it a point to subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to call us, the number will be over the screen, or you can put your thoughts and comments on our different social medias, or you can also watch live on our social media as Bethany TV Uganda. So now I want to welcome the beautiful ladies. I want to start with the beautiful Mercy. Mercy. I don't know how I can explain her. But she's really looking amazing.
Thank you.
You're so much welcome, Mercy.
Thank you so much, Gift.
I like the looks.
Thank you.
She looks phenomenal.
Okay.
The lip gloss.
Technology zitadi so kuvayo.
Thank you.
I like the hairstyle.
Wow. Thank you.
I like the eyebrow.
I like the skin complexion.
I like the skin glow. It's a competition.
It's a competition. You know, today we've been in the medical expo, and then it's been amazing.
Okay.
So this doctor came and she was telling us nti ennaku zino tetukyakwata na mbizigo naye tukwata mu mpiso.
Upgrading.
Naga twakowa ebikebe kati tuli mu mpiso. And if I look at Mercy right now, I feel like, why wouldn't someone own such a beautiful?
That. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a very beautiful complexion.
Wow. It's very beautiful. Kati va ku bantu ba Genesis abazungu.
I'm here standing for you.
I was passing by a border B stage. Nebagamba, omwana ono ng'anyirira. Koli nedda musooke mwetegereze ebigere. I'm like, people have spoiled it. Now, otambula mu town and people are not sure whether that is how you look. Oba wakwata mu mpiso bakizi. It is that bad.
Ndibanga basooke bakebera ebigere.
Basooke bategeeze.
Kati batuzizza eri mu ntandikwa nti omwana yazaalibwa basooke bamukebere, omutwala asimaye wasenga oba waani amukebera ebigere.
Basooke betegereze. Tujja kuba mu situations of DNA.
To the viewers of Arise Woman, I think we can do better than that.
Yeah.
We can do better than that. We can own our skin. We can own who we are.
Sure.
Can't we do that?
Yes, we can.
We can.
Yes.
So, and actually, those are some of the most difficult conversations you can have.
Very true.
Ng'owulira okemebwa okukwata mu bizigo.
Bankwatemuko katono.
Oba nkwatemuko katono.
Oba just nkwatemuko just nteeka ku bigere byokka.
Oba just. Those are they are really difficult. Ng'owulira oyagala kubanga Genesis naye nga. But anyway, this is what we have tonight. So you can be a part of the discussion, and I'm going to start with Genesis. I'm going to start with Genesis to make us understand. If we say the most difficult conversations that we've had with oneself.
Okay.
Gwenga gwomuntu okitegeera otya?
The most difficult conversations you've had yourself. Amazingly, these are conversations we have with ourselves every other time. Olumu zijja subconsciously without you noticing that actually olumu kwekubaganya. Yeah, you're letting yourself know that this is not working. I need to accept it. But basically, the most difficult conversations are those conversations you have with yourself behind closed doors. Nga teryakulaba, teryaliwo, mwenyini nokkiriza. You know, that moment that finds you in the bathroom. in the mirror. You're looking at yourself in the mirror, no chegamba munyini. Or that moment when you wake up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. when you're supposed to be sleeping. Ne gambo oti okimanyi no birowoozamu gwe wekka n'oyogera. You know, you speak to yourself in your head, and amazingly those are conversations we often have with ourselves. Nga totegana tegena nti you're having it with yourself. And it happens day to day, daily in our workspaces, in our relationships, in our families, with different people that we meet in life, with different experiences that we have. But you are at one point bound to have that conversation with yourself.
At one point you are bound to have it.
You are.
And now today we are saying that we have to take the courage and face our inner self. We need to take the courage to connect with our inner self. Oyina okufuna akadde kubanga bwotakafuna kajja kwefuna.
Kafuna tokayise.
If you're not intentional about getting that moment, it will come. And when it comes,
are you actually ever ready for it?
Never.
I think sometimes you think you are handling a situation so well,
you're in control.
nga you're in control of it, then nechikukuba. Usually it happens when you're brushing your teeth. You know that moment in the morning, you're brushing your teeth and looking through the day, preparing for the day and getting ready for it. It's usually kajirao, wekatajirao, kajja chiro. Either you're going to sleep, that first few seconds of you waking up, or otuloye tukubula mu kirao. Kajja kujja. Era ojja kubeera nako oboyagala batoyagala.
Oboyagala batoyagala.
You're bound to have it gift. And I think it's very vital that ochikirizanga your conversation etera okusinga zonna abeera n'abantu n'abalala. If I sit down with Gift and have a conversation with her, you know, I might listen and still not make decisions regardless of what she has said. But in that moment ng'oli wekka, you will make decisions. That's why bagamba nti ojja genda oyogere n'omuntu, but no matter how people tell you this is wrong, until you have that conversation with yourself.
Thank you, Genesis. I believe tonight on the show we would want to discover the power of self-discovery. Knowing you as a person, discovering much more about you as a person, taking on the resilience and also the courage that it takes to have those that we've called the most difficult conversations. Well, I think a week ago, we were telling our students that they should do a lot of self-care. And I think over time we've been like, self-care is key. It's a key to success. Self-care leads to this. Self-care leads to this and that and that. But I took off a minute and I was thinking, okay, self-care as in I'm caring for self. So, and then this came in my mind and I'm like, so many times we shout self-care, but then we do not even know whom we are giving the self-care.
True. Yeah.
So I thought, and I'm like, okay, if we are to do the self-care that we really want to do to ourselves, we need to do a lot of self-awareness. I cannot care for what I do not know. If I'm saying that I have to care for me as Gift, whose gift?
What is it about her that I should be caring about? Yeah, that is sinking in.
She's in which kind of state that I should care about. So it's the same thing with these kinds of conversations. Yeah, if you cannot have these kinds of conversations, not until you are aware of yourself and of the surrounding.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mercy. The most difficult conversations we've had with self. Kiki gwe ky'ozirowoozaako tetunnazituukamu kuziweekizaako. Kiki ky'ozirowoozaako
nga kikususseeko.
Well, most difficult conversations. Well, I guess these are conversations, they're more like battles with yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? I could say you want to achieve something, but you're failing to achieve it, okay? Simply because maybe you are not qualified to achieve it, okay? Maybe you are lazy to achieve it, okay? So these self-inner conversations are literally, to me, I feel like there's something you want to go to, but you can't reach. Okay, or maybe you're failing to reach. Okay.
But
Yes.
you have a picture.
Yes, I do have a picture, yeah. Like you have a picture, but chikulemeredde okutuukirira. Okay? So you're battling, and the question is, how do I do this? How do I do this? Gabo gabe tunatoka examples. Like when I reach to my example, I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. But it's more like that inner battle you have. Okay? And you sit down and reflect on yourself. Yes, the environment around you may say whatever they have to say. Okay, but when you go back to the mirror, like Genesis says, and you draw back to the board, it zeroes down to you. So that conversation you have with yourself, it's more like that battle you have with yourself. Yes, because this normally these conversations actually, they're more like challenges.
Yeah.
Ziba personal challenges zezo. You're trying to maneuver through those challenges. Yes.
Yeah, at times they make you cry, sometimes they make you laugh.
And then they make you stronger, you know, they make you do all sorts of things. They make you discover yourself.
Yeah, true.
Because they're tough.
Yeah. So
They're usually very tough.
Okay, so Mercy says we find it hard to face them.
Yeah.
And sometimes yet they are sweet. Sometimes.
They're bittersweet.
Yes, the bittersweet. But after that bittersweet, you get the sweet.
And actually, when you say they're bittersweet, I think those conversations are very, very important, because I think when you, like, you know how you said self-awareness and all that, like, I think when you have these conversations, you get to know yourself. Okay,
they open you to
the
external world.
They kind of expose you to a lot. They make you creative. So if you do not have these personal conversations, then I really don't know.
I was listening to a clip of Miles Monroe talking about purpose, and he said it is those moments when you talk to yourself and discover yourself that you will actually have purpose. You will know your purpose.
Thank you.
Because until you get to that moment, that's why I told you, I've had these conversations with myself when I hated them the most, when they made me cry, when they made me smile, when they made me happier, because I realized actually the answer was just in the corner and I didn't even see it. But they're always challenging in a way that they make you understand and accept to take what you wouldn't have wanted to, which is the better deal.
Thank you, Genesis. I think now we're going to get into the depth of this conversation, the most difficult conversations that you've had with yourself. If you're watching us on our different social medias, maybe it's Facebook or YouTube, osobola tuteera mu comment section otugambe nti nze ku lunaku bwe luti oba mu kaseera bwe kati natula wansi ne neegamba nti kino. I would tell you that in the quiet moments of our personal lives, when the world falls so silent, when you feel like buli ddoboozi lisirise, we engage in the conversations that are profoundly challenging. They are not so sweet as sweet, but they challenge your mindset. They challenge the way you've been thinking about you, or even the external world. So we want to look at those kinds of conversations, and I'm going to start with Mercy.
Just because I said I have an example. Let me start with Mercy. But thank you so much. Yeah, I have had conversations. Personal, like really so personal, and to me they've gone to a level of emotion. Okay, just the sensitive. Okay, and not for example, the actual basis is, I'll talk about myself, my weight. Okay. It is one of the biggest self-conversations I have had. Yeah. Okay, and I've had to battle with it. Like we said, society can...
No crying?
I don't hear, no, please.
I know why she said that.
No. Yes. So, but yeah, but like I was saying, like, I have battled with myself night and day, you know, at a certain time in my life, because of my weight. But the beauty about this self-conversation, I want to jump before I go back, like let me just jump. The beauty I had about it is it made me love who I am. Okay.
Wow.
After having this conversation, so you know how you can be around people. There are people who are obese than I am. They are thick than I am. You know.
Of course, yeah.
But have you ever been in an environment and people notice you just because at that moment you're noticeable? Okay. But then I sat down. This is genetic. Okay. It doesn't mean that I'm deformed or I'm not
You're a
perfect.
pretty
You know.
beautiful woman.
Thank you. So it doesn't mean that I'm not perfect or something. I sat down. I've channeled these conversations, like, you know, even in relationships, I have battled them, like, you know, people will compliment you, okay? Your partner will compliment, will say something that is negative, and then you have to go back and emotionally you are drained. You're like, now you know, now my weight, you know.
Yeah. Did you ever chase them out? The ones that...
Thank you.
Yeah.
So now, like, okay, in the beginning, before you have this before I actually had these conversations with myself, it used to drain me, okay? Emotionally, it would drain me. It started drain back, you know, my esteem, making me feel like, now, you know, I used to literally fear to walk out in public. So I always wanted to walk with someone when I'm going. And I always tried to befriend very tiny girls. Most of my friends actually were tiny girls. So just to feel like, okay, if she's really, really tiny and I am who I am, so we're like Timon and Pumbaa. So
I do not want to laugh myself.
Dragon, no emotions. Yeah, so we're like Timon and Pumbaa, and well, there is a lot to talk about that.
There's a balance.
Thick girl, and there is a lot to talk about that small girl. Yeah. But then I sat down and had this serious conversation as I actually grew up. I had this conversation with myself, and I'm so grateful that sitting down and reflecting on my body, and I feel like I am perfect. I am beautiful.
Did you ever have that turning moment that made you have that conversation? I would love to know if you don't mind.
Yeah. So the more I would worry about this whole
Weight, your body image.
No? Yes. The more I would worry, you guys, the more I would actually eat unhealthy. When chiroza zako nnyo, when the yogurt, nendirako popcorn, nemala nendia crisps, nendia chips, like, so every time I'm like, but now people are saying I'm overweight. Okay, now what do I do? I need to stop eating. Instead of like, ideally someone would run and starve. People run and starve, by the way. I, for one, I would literally like eat, and I'm like, okay. But I sat down and I'm like, you know what? Okay, this weight is there. I may not have to go over it. I may not go beyond, below it. I just can remain normal the way I am. And I think I've been this same normal.
Are you now comfortable with it?
I am very comfortable with this weight. I am very comfortable. Yes, I go and work out. I work out because I just want to be fit. I want to be energetic. I can be able to lift most people, when they see me walking, they're like, my God, that girl is fit.
Yeah, you are.
And it helped. It helped me be very confident. I am very bold when I'm out there. Like, I'm not afraid. It didn't make me, as in, it helped me. This conversation every time in the mirror, every time in the room, every time I'm alone. And just because the society around me has commented, maybe a partner I've had in life, maybe friends have commented that, oh my God, like the way it used to bother me, after me having these conversations, I can sit among people and they're like, like recently someone made this comment actually. Okay. I was with someone and I'm like, yeah, because by now, and you work out, and then this person makes this comment. As in, when she said that, ideally I should be offended, and I'm like, munange mubunji bwangu omwe mwendio. Thank you. Nange mwene yagalira mubunji bwangu, but you get it. So it has been one of those serious conversations. One of those serious conversations I've had with myself.
People can be so insensitive. I feel like
people
there are
so insensitive.
There are certain things that you don't talk about to people. No,
you know, I was joking with my sister one time, and because now for me it's genetic. Actually, it's for us, it's genetic. So, you know, I sat down and I'm like, why am I battling this? It's genetic. This is my mom, my sisters, my brothers. So really, so I always joke with my sister, and this kind of joke, like, we're like Ugandans, when they meet you, do you know the first thing they say? They don't even say, oh, Genesis, hi, you know, the first thing, Genesis, ogeze, like that is our form of greeting in Uganda. Did you know?
Nigo koze toli ebizibu bingi ennaku zino.
Yengo koze ate wogeje ngo ogeje.
That is it. Someone who always like they will never meet you and say something positive about you, but
So
my
they
self
greet with a
conversations,
negative.
yes, my self conversations have made me, you know, be comfortable.
I'm glad you
Okay,
walked
maybe
that
Master,
journey.
just to take you back, because there is someone, actually I was watching the reel, and you know this lady, she's
Yes.
she even cried.
Yeah, I watched that.
Because like I feel like, okay, now this is us, this is her attacking the world.
Thank you.
With this is who I am. Embrace it or don't embrace it.
Love me the way I am, okay? Take me the way I am. It is very hard to make people to take you the way you are. But you know,
very hard.
the moment you take yourself the way you are, people will learn to adjust to it.
That's after you've known that you are
Exactly. The moment you take yourself the way nze bwe nekkiriza nengamba nti Masi ndi munene bwentyo bwendi ndi mulungi mu bunene bwange, like I'm comfortable, so ensi will take me the way I am. Ayagala okubeera mu exactly, ayagala kuba mu space yange ngakkiriza nga bwendi ajja kuba nange ate ayagala.
Must just also to take you back.
Yes.
We have different stages. Like if we to have these most difficult conversations, I believe there are stages that lead to that. And one of the stages is most of the times we are in denial.
Yes.
Because we don't want to face the reality. We are in denial of tweyagala nakukkiriza nti eno weight yo ne bwogenda mu ddwaliro and they take your weight, you feel like
I will not say it, thank you.
Thank you. You don't want to see
and you label yourself. Nze banange bwengenda mu ddwaliro nze nemanyi bwengenda mu ddwaliro like nze nemanyi they will not find my veins, but like to all the ladies out there who are sick like me, please enjoy yourselves.
I know,
But it's like
after that denial, I believe the most interesting part here is coming into acceptance of you, of who you are. And once you accept who you are, it's up to the other people to accept you
That
or
is
not.
it.
So them
They
not
now
accepting you, it's not about you, because like she said, people were insensitive of her weight, and people will always be insensitive.
And it's not your responsibility to have people appreciate you or want to be in your
thank you.
space.
And you know, the moment you become comfortable, trust me, however insensitive people are and you feel you're comfortable, you know, you will not feel that inner battle again I talked about. You get that inner, that self battle, you will not feel it the moment you get comfortable. But you know, as long as you're not yet comfortable, that is when you're going to have this difficult conversation with you. But then again, I'm proud of that difficult conversation because it helps you discover. It helped me discover myself. It helped me appreciate myself, and it helped me come out of the box.
I've loved
so
and
much,
I've enjoyed
Nancy.
listening to you.
Really.
I'm now like I'm in a lecture. Let me pick a leaf. Let me pick a leaf.
And I feel there is someone out there that is just like her, and maybe they have not been comfortable. They do not want to put on particular clothes. They do not want to put on.
And that is actually when I was in denial. My sense of dressing was just lousy. You know, you start when you gambuli bali just because you're afraid. Now, if I put on something overly big, then it's going to make me even worse, and then they will laugh. But these are beautiful conversations. Actually, they are difficult conversations. They are soft battles, but I think they are great battles for any person.
Okay, Masa, maybe before I go to Genesis, you're saying you came into acceptance of who you are. This is my weight. This is me and me and me and me. So how long did it take you? Because someone out there is okubagamba anti netaga banga for me to embrace that, and how am I supposed now to face the world after I've now embraced this, that this is me? So I don't take a kakagoya kali like this for me to move out. So
you know, I can fit it. There is a time I went and we did a workout and we were putting on shirts where we tell people I fit in. You do fit in. Okay, so I personally took me a while. I would laugh with people, you know, but deep inside I'm dying. Okay, it took me a while. So I'm thinking, chinchata and right, because I've been overweight, I've been thick. Yes, it's thick. Yes, women don't appreciate it. Like women of my size, they don't appreciate it when you tell them you're fat, or you know, you'd rather tell them they're thick, which is more polite anyway. So it took me a while. In secondary, I battled it. In university, I battled it. You know, even when I came out of university and I'm working, I battled it. It took me really years. Okay, I cannot say it's a simple process. It has its ups and downs. There are these good days and there are those bad days. There are those days when you're really low. Okay,
yes.
But it takes a while. It's a journey. It's like how we say, everything is a process. It's a journey. But the more you go through the good and bad in this journey, okay,
It nurtures you. It
helps you even accept yourself better. Okay, because I don't think if you don't go through these lows and highs,
you don't grow.
You will not accept yourself. Okay, so through that whole phase, I cannot lie.
I don't
right
know,
through, you know,
there's that age of 14.
When you're a teenager,
that is where
really.
Yeah,
when you're a teenager,
it can start that early.
I think
when you're a teenager,
we need to empower maybe girls or people that are in their adolescent age to be able to embrace who they are. And I feel like maybe me and Genesis still we have stories of when we were still like teenage in our teens. But I want us to take a break, and when we come back from the break, we're going to continue discussing the most difficult conversations we've had with ourselves and how did we embrace them and how did we turn out to be the best versions of ourselves after facing the reality of the so many things that were battling our minds. So taking a break, we're coming back.
Bethany TV for health. Growing and multiplying.
Father, we thank you that as we've joined our faith on this earth, whatever
touching those close and beyond, the word of God ministered, lives changed.
Our God made a way for the children of Israel and they made it to the promised land.
The day of salvation, and today is a day of freedom for you in Jesus' name. If you believe it, say amen. We celebrate the resurrection because Jesus is alive. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new day.
Never miss the Watoto Sunday service every Sunday, 10 to 11:30 a.m. live on Bethany TV for health.
I haven't been feeling well. My back became my back. I've been all over the place looking for treatment, spending huge amounts of money na yewa.
Toddamu kubonaabona, genda mu Uganda Med Expo omunaabeera abakugu mu byobulamu abasoba mu 6 n'ebitongole by'ebyobujjanjabi ebiwerera ddala baakubeera erugogo mu kibangirizi ky'abannamakolero okuva nga 7 okutuuka nga 9 Septemba 2023 okubayamba ku byobulamu bwammwe endwadde ezibasumbuwa saako n'okubalaga aw'okufuna obujjanjabi obusaanidde okuyingira 5,000 zokka nga za kuyambako ku nteekateeka wabula okwogerako n'omukugu yenna gw'oyagadde kwa bwereere okumanya ebisingawo kuba ku ssimu 0704 544 Nyanya. Uganda Med Expo ekutuusibwako Med Expo Africa Events nga biwagiddwa Bethany TV for health. This is the Health Minute on Bethany TV.
The baby's neurotube closes during the first weeks of pregnancy, often before a woman knows that she is pregnant.
So as medical workers, we advise mothers to take folic acid before and after conception.
If a woman consumes folic acid before and during early pregnancy, it can help increase the chance of her baby's neurotube closing properly.
It prevents the baby from getting neurotube defects, for example, anencephaly, that is a small head, spina bifida, it is just an abnormality under the cord. Then hydrocephaly, it's a big head.
Have planned pregnancies. Talk to your doctor when planning to get pregnant. Attend antenatal care when pregnant. Eat foods rich in folic acid.
Avocado, spinach, brown rice, peas, and any others.
Take folic acid supplements with the guidance of a doctor.
Better health care for a better tomorrow. That was the Health Minute. Introducing Bethany TV, the pioneer health and wellness channel in Uganda and Africa, having a profound commitment to health and wellness. Our content takes various forms, from music and series to documentaries, talk shows, news, features, movies, cartoons, and reality shows. We are a hybrid station available on free-to-air and pay platforms, embracing the digital age as we maintain a strong online presence through our website, social media platforms, and mobile apps. Explore our rich and diverse content, engage with us on social media, and be a part of the positive change we aim to bring to the health and wellness landscape. Bethany TV, for health. Bethany TV, for health.
You're so much welcome. This is Arise Woman and you are watching Bethany TV. My name is Giftina Kayinga together with Genesis Namali and Mercy. Togera ku ezembozi enzibwezo zoyogera ng'oli weka ne wetuza mu mboozi ng'olina ebirowoozo by'obadde otambula nabyo okumala ebbanga naye nga weebuuza nkoze ntya. You go out to seek approval from people to tell you that now do this, now this, now this, or even you keep in denial, you do not want to face the reality. Zetuli mukwogera komase atubulidde story ennungi eyiye mu ngeri kyate gye yasobola okwetuuza wansi ne yeegamba ekizibu kyali tasobola kwegamba. We have one of our viewers, Exana. She says, Mercy, I was here admiring your body.
Yeah.
As long as you are not lame, ignore.
Thank you. I don't want to by the way.
Ignore the Ugandans and live your life.
Thank you.
It's how it's supposed to be like.
Ignore the Ugandans.
But it takes a kind of grace to get to that point.
Definitely
Omala
does.
kulwana nacho.
It really does.
It takes grace.
And like I said, we seek approval. We don't want to have these conversations and we go out to the public.
Yes.
Now today I've been on social media and someone posted something and she was saying, Munyambe, mbadde mu relationship okumala emyaka, mbadde mu relationship okumala emyaka 7, naye okay, is it like tewali shiddako? Yeah, she doesn't see.
There is no growth.
Yeah. I know. So you know such conversations where you know kwetuza ne wegamba nti I've been with this guy, I've been with this girl for 7 years, but there isn't anything like going on. And it took my attention because I've been there and I went to the comments to just go through the comments,
and
but Ugandans
say.
They don't have kind words. So
not Ugandans in particular, actually.
People don't have kind words. Waliwo mwandekidde namugamba, that is no longer a relationship, it's a career, my dear. Oli namugamba
ke yabayita. Wabayita kiruli. Just akagambo ke yabayita. Kadizat.
And I don't mean to say that to her, but she needs to have that conversation with herself and allow that it is time.
It's time. Oli namugamba kankwereza timetable y'ebigezo by'abaana ba P7. Sima tulepye irum like temubadde mu comment yonna ezzaamu maanyi. Oli namugambe eyo medicine tasimanya n'internship wagiyitako dda. Like
but and the beauty is olabanga comments ezo but the beauty is that the way those comments have come in, they are awakening her. Okay, there is no positive comment coming in, so she's able to sit down, have that conversation.
At that moment, she is not. By the time she's asking us, Nkolentia, it means she is not yet ready.
She's not yet ready.
And those comments, as you see them coming, they are going to break her.
Exactly.
Ate agenda zivaamu ngera tali kyayize paka mwennyini waneetuuza naŋŋamba ati fuse dessert. It is time for me to what? To move out. There should be no kinder words. I'm sorry, there are no kinder words that people are going to tell you in a situation like that other than to tell you to walk.
Especially social media. But let's tell you about those difficult conversations we've had with ourselves. I want to go to Genesis to tell us one of those difficult that she's had with herself. Netuza mumira natu nagamba nti kati Genesis yegwe wuyo.
My heart is even beating as I get here. I think I've had so many conversations with myself before, but the one that I can say really stood out, I don't know how I should say it. Well, yeah, bintu byonna ngeri yogendo binyonyola abantu.
Tujja kubinyonyola.
Naye ngenda biba menyera. I think this thing started nga nkyali mwana muto and kyagendanga kibuildinga mpola mpola. You know, in this African society that we grow up with damages in our families that are inflicted on us, and we don't even notice how much damage they are making.
Yeah,
we grow up with our parents saying words that they don't understand the impact of them. And meanwhile, I love my mother so much. And this is not about that. I know we in this African society with how we are raised, bintu biberawo abazadde boogera ebintu nga tebalaba abataata baffe bakola ebintu nga tebakola ki nga tebabitegera nze kirabika there are certain things I could hear my mother say and nga tasobola nategeera the damage
she's causing to you.
She's causing to me, and maybe yali anyumya mbozi ezamubeerangako
nga she's going through something.
Yeah, she was actually she was not talking to me about it. She was talking to her friends, but in a moment when I'm listening and at my age I was speaking things I should never have picked up. Now these things byanyingira mu mutwe nga simanyi nga binyingira ne mu mutwe, and I won't go deep into that conversation, but I grew up, got into starting school, and I always desired and wanted to fit in. Be loved, not feel rejected. Kubanga nali mukali nti manyi ffe twakuzibwa waka nga tuli ne maama waffe. Naye nga taata waali, wadde yali taliiwe waka. Naye nga gyali. But there was no that love. That I think now I understood better why they say nti tufuna damages from our fathers. No kulanga tomanyinga, you start looking for a husband and you're looking for a father.
You're looking for your father in that
husband. And meanwhile these things are real and we take them for granted. But I reached a point for me to outgrow that. It took me a while, and it took me not 1, 2, 3, 4 years. It was a whole process of me learning and appreciating and growing my detachment levels, which are profound right now. But before I get there, so I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be approved. I wanted to never feel rejected. Now, in school, I happened to always be, somehow I always in the spotlight. Naye okumanya biri ebintu byali byanyingira mu mutwe, Mercy and Gift, is I still didn't see that. People always looked for something I found insecure about me, for them to figure out how they can also fit in with me. But of course I didn't understand it. Nze nali ndowooza nti maybe I'm not being good enough. I should be better with my friends. I should be more lenient. I should be more sympathetic. I should be more loving. So even when people did things that were hurting, I always found a reason to keep them around and justify what they're doing. And through high school to now growing up and coming into the reality, the real world, now it gets harder in that moment because now you start dating.
Yes.
Wow.
Now I started dating with all my insecurities that I had built up growing up, that came from my family, my mother home, and growing up to where I grew up with these piling up. Dating.
Yes.
I was compromising. I could compromise. My attachment levels are too high. When I like someone, I like them with intention. So I was scared of people walking out. Now I struggled with it, and because I was struggling with being scared of people walking out, I compromised
a lot, yes.
A lot. amazingly, I didn't make lots of girlfriends, and God has been so good to me that the girlfriends that came into my life were amazing people. And I can't say otherwise. I'm honestly glad. But it did not happen that way when you're dating, because men will look at you differently.
Yes.
And I was through a relationship that made me compromise, tested my patience, tested my limits. It was the first relationship I had ever had.
I can imagine.
And I was a young girl. I think I was 22,
Okay.
maybe 21, because that is when I started dating. I think I was 22. So it kind of broke me. But in that breaking, around there, I don't want to go into the details of that relationship, but and I'm glad I had that relationship. Oh, I have never been more glad.
Because it makes you who you are.
But that relationship, first of all, I was dating a man who was more mature than I was. Not too mature, but I can say probably, depends on what you define as mature. Actually, no, he wasn't mature. He wasn't mature.
Okay, no. I want to remind you something, that we're looking at the most difficult.
Yeah.
That even when you are in denial that this is not good for me, and then you reach at a point of, well, I think I can relate with this. So you here telling me not mature. Okay, we're mature.
No, like, because I realized still certain things about me I like.
Okay.
As you have this conversation, you realize into wali biyagala ndi betaka kati
Now I get you.
ontegedde kati. Thank you. So teyali mukulu naye era ku myaka gye nalimu obwongo bwange bwali tebunnakula bulungi to comprehend certain things. Naye nga ye yali ku level ng'akuze ng'asobola comprehending ebintu, and I wouldn't do that at that point. So he also bought into my naivety, my niceness, and I think he enjoyed the ride of it. Oh, I'm a very affectionate woman, and I know that. And I think he enjoyed it, and I'm glad he did. Pretty glad. But it was breaking me, and I desired this person so much until I was scared of them walking away.
Yes.
Because they had traits that I was looking for, that I wanted my father to have, and he did not have them. Basically, I was searching for my father in this man. It is sad, but it's true. I was searching for my father in this man. He, regardless of everything, he had those attributes of a father. And he, Genesis, are you alright? Let me take you to do this. Let me. Omanyi obuntu obwo. Bw'osuubira taata wali n'okukola ng'ate taata wo teyabukola. Kati you subconsciously desire those things, and that is what I was doing with this man.
Okay.
Now I reached a point ng'obwongo butandise developing. Bambuyita bwongo bamagezi agatandise okweyongera.
Ka self conversation.
Ne ngamba naye Genesis oli ku kiki kino. So I sat down with myself, and actually I didn't see that coming, because I had had multiple conversations with my sister, with my mom, and they were telling me, meanwhile for them they thought I don't like dating. Can you imagine? My mom thought I don't like dating, and she thought I'm being so laid back, and for her I should have started the journey of figuring out a husband. So nga yalabanga I'm not being serious with myself, especially in regards to marriage. Well, meanwhile my sister knew. So my sister always, every time she sat down with me, told me all the reasons I shouldn't be with this person. But I didn't see them. I never did, not for 1 second. Jovoye gubagamba ku social media nkugamba nteri kyategeera. Kuba we botegedde. Toli bokkiriza kutuula nawe kugamba what you should do and what you shouldn't what you shouldn't do. Because I didn't hear, I didn't listen. But in the moment I could listen. Basically her efforts were futile.
I think maybe what we can say, like, before you sit down to accept those inner deep conversations with yourself, you'll keep moving from one person to another, one person to another.
Looking for them to give you like a justification.
Thank you.
Or whether like you feel like you want their approval.
You want them to want them to
or encourage you on the decision you will be able to make. I get you.
So I think the fact that this man had those attributes, I can't say he was a bad man, people have good and bad. I believe people always.
We are not perfect.
People have good and bad.
We are not
And
perfect.
he had a good part of him, and that good part of him is what kept me desiring that father figure in him, and that kept me around. But of course, came with the compromises and the
emotional pain.
The emotional pain, the emotional abuse was to the best any man can offer you. I always told my friends, because in the time I was with this man, they dated multiple people. And I always told them, one of them got married about 3 years ago. And before she got married, I told her that, you know what, darling, in the men you have dated in the years I had known that man, and you dated multiple people. But the love and affection I received from that man, you have not received in the multiple relationships that you've had.
Exactly.
But also the traumas I faced in that relationship, you have not faced in any of those multiple relationships you've had. So I had two. I had affection that none of them had ever got.
Yes.
And I had trauma that none of them had ever got. Has someone ever given you a plate? Ngofuna greens and carbohydrates.
It reminds me of our rejection story.
And it's, I had both. I was getting nutrition from this
nutrition sport cabis.
I was getting a variety of carbohydrates, vitamins, magnesium, proteins from relationship. And the nice Genesis always looked at the best in this person.
Yes. You just sidelined the negative.
I reached a point Nintandika oku, I think the traumas had become too much, and I nezitandika okumpressinga ku limits zesitategeera. And I just woke up one day when no one had told me anything. My friends didn't like this man, my sister did not like this man, and my brother did not like this man. But I always found a reason to make them like him, because it was my choice. And trust me, it is my choice. I made the decision, and it's true. Even if I could go back now, in fact, I'm glad I had that relationship with that man, and I appreciate both the good and bad that came from it. But none of them had talked to me about anything. But what do I want? I sat down one day. I had a notebook. I want to have this, I want to have this, I want to have this, I want to have this. Whatever would crop up in my mind, I would write it down. Playfully. So natuka ekiseera nentandika okubiringalingamu byonna ne ngamba kati bino ebintu byonna byenjagala. Is this man fitting into this equation? Nga wonna nentegeranga, if I choose this man, I'm going to compromise everything I am and have always wanted.
And you will change completely.
And everything I've always desired was never going to come if I choose this man.
Thank you, Genesis.
So I moved. Actually, it happened subconsciously at a moment when no one had told me what to do. It's
because it was coming all the time, but you kept suppressing
it. I think that was it. And for some reason, when I got out of that relationship, and there's a way my detachment levels grew, my boundaries, I created boundaries. Zota Sobora. Right now, I'm telling you that if I like you, and you give me reason not to like you, my detachment levels are so high that I will not compromise it 1 second. At all. Actually, just chirabye na chiraba. Nti nkwagala leero, no pressing a button eyo gye yagala pressing. Ennaku esatu ezidda nze simanyi kimbeerako. But I'm
difficult conversations,
the small inner battles
had with self
that you have to have, whether you want it. And from then, I'm sure the people that met me after him met a better version of Genesis.
Yes. If it was a service, Tandegambia, the congregation, Tandegambia congregation, Mukube Mungalo, Ne Katimuna, this is a show, but wherever you are, Osabolokubira, Genesis Mungalo, Osabolokubira, Mase Mungalo, they have shared experiences that each one of us has gone through. It could be there is someone that can relate to Mercy having that kind of body, and there is someone that can relate with Genesis going through that kind of relationship. I've not shared any of my difficult conversations because of time, but I hope and I believe we can relate with the two experiences that we've shared. You can go ahead. Genesis said she's had many. Personally, I've had many every now and then. True. And I believe each one of you, if you've not gotten time to sit down, nogamba antikati kino ekintu kizibu nekantuule nkimalirize, you'll never see yourself tojja kukula. Si kukula as in age ojja kukula, but this inner, the you, the person, the inner you, tojja kukula. There are certain things you will not achieve. There are certain things you will never get to know or understand, not until you accept and have those difficult discussions. And maybe to tell you something, our time is running fast, but to tell you something, if you ever choose to have these kinds of discussions in Kati, but then no mukwana, I've been having these kinds of friends, now it's time to let them go, now it's time to, those, they're hard, they're really hard. Or you know kumanya auntie, you have to be ready to stand alone, to be left alone. Yes. Not even your family in the picture, not even anyone in the picture. Mukama wakuyamba ne waba wajja, well and good. If they do not come, be ready to stand alone. Be ready to face rejection.
That is true.
That's it. Do you know what it means waking up one time? No gamba, or maybe mukwano gonti, but then kola nawe shintu bwekiti, but I think I'm done with that. Yes. Yeah. Do you know how they are going to react? Because for them, they have not been ready to get done. They have not been ready. Yes. So what they will do, baja kuchawa. Yes. The resistance again, your decision, it's going to be as in so many cases.
They will try to intimidate you. They will try to make you regret the decision. They will try to do everything.
So, we want to encourage each one of us that we should keep having these kinds of discussions, these conversations. But if we choose to have them, we should be ready to stand alone and look at the bigger picture and take one step at a time. One step at a time. I don't think Genesis, it was just in a blink of an eye for you to be like, I'm done with this particular man. So it took her a while. Masa, it was the same thing too. We have people in schools, Bachata, me, a bit of an example, I struggled with my body. Yeah. My entire life in primary, high school, I never removed a sweater. Wow. And I was like not small, but I never had to remove a sweater. Ngeranze uniform chensingo jagalako sweater. Kubange mbika ne babanga tebanda, but they can only see my face. Okay. Reasons being, my sister kept telling me, Toina kabina, Toina shino, Toina shino.
They don't understand
they never get to realize that every negative it hits someone hard.
Yes. And I was so glad that I even went in a Muslim school. You just have
to cover yourself.
Then netekako sweater yange. Nga tewali ajja kulaba amagulu gange, tewali ajja kulaba mikono jange. And actually I think it's just a year ago that I'm trying nze nokwambala open mbosanga ebyo sleeveless. It's hard because of that. So but I think I reached a time last year and I was like, but really?
Thank you.
Really? Nze gwe bayita mu China.
Kati banampita
at least you have some little bum, but your sister will tell you Muchina go to Muchika.
And it's the people who care about us, the people who love us, who keep on
and I don't hold it against them because I realize that they never know what they're doing.
They do not know.
I think it's time that to get out of this place. So Marcin, just less than a minute, just give me your concluding remarks in less than seconds.
Yeah, I will not advise because I'm also still work in progress. Yeah, but all I can say is whenever you have these conversations with yourself, I have a book. People wonder why I carry many books, but I have a book like I will always note down what is affecting me, okay, and what is good, and then I weigh the two, and then I can have that proper conversation with me. So it's good to write down, okay. as you have those conversations, write down, list down whatever you feel you are comfortable with, and then you work yourself.
Thank you. Genesis, just in less than a minute.
Have them. Have those conversations.
Very important.
They'll be helpful to you. That's all.
Have those conversations, they will be very, very helpful. Choyinza okukola ekisukkako kwezo kusaba Mukama azikuyisemu and to get into terms with whatever you would come out with from those conversations. We are Arise Woman every single Friday from 8 to 9 p.m. on Bethany TV, and we want to encourage you, each one of you that is watching the program, to bypass Wuma Showgrounds, Lugogo. We're having the Medical Expo, and tomorrow, Saturday, it is the last day. Kindly come and be a part of this. There is free consultation from different specialists. Come and consult. Is there anything that you would want to ask and you don't have money? Come and be a part of this. We start from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you can make your way. Tomorrow it's a weekend. Come and chill from where health matters. I wish you the best of the night. Till next Friday. Good night.
Yeah.